Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Monson Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook and also live here on YouTube, where we take a look at what's going on in our city, our state, and our country that might be of interest to us as a community of English-speaking locals. We also take a look at Paco, straighten yourself up. There you go. We also take a look at your comments, ideas, and suggestions. Everything you bring to the table is good, and it helps us better connect with each other and with our city. And with those of you who are watching from afar, maybe you've left for the season, maybe you're looking forward to an upcoming trip. Whatever it is a pleasure to see you on this Thursday, June 5th. Today is Muffin's birthday, so I'm just waiting for him to pop on the comment so we can wish Logan a happy birthday. As usual, I put together some nuggets of information that you might appreciate. So just get comfortable, grab your favorite beverage, and let's get going with this. Of course, acknowledging that if you have an important comment that you wish to share with everyone, it helps a great deal if you add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment. And if you're watching live for the first time today, it is a pleasure for us to give you a nice warm cluster welcome. So all you have to do is add a capital letter N to your comment, and we'll be happy to welcome you aboard. Let's start with some important news. Yes. Yesterday, the Ministry of Infrastructure, Communications, and Transportation revealed during President Sheinbaum's morning press conference that the construction of the Amado Nervo Bridge, which will connect Puerto Vallarta and Bahía de Banderas, will begin this month on June 25th. Now, because you may not think this is relevant, you live in the south part of the city, who cares about this bridge? But at the same time, some of us are complaining about the increasing amount of traffic going on in the northern part of the city. I've prepared a handy dandy explainer map to show you the lay of the land. So here we are, North Shore. Here's our airport. Here's the dreaded Las Juntas intersection. Here's the former Highway 200. And this Highway 200 has been for many years how we get into the city from points north. Of course, now we have the brand new highway, the toll highway, that also connects right next to the airport. But at present time, this highway does not have a way to head south. It has to go up to Las Juntas and do a U-turn here. And this is part of the reason why we have so much traffic in the city. And then, of course, there's also inbound traffic coming in from Highway 544, which is a highway that goes towards San Sebastián del Oeste, Talpa, and Mascota. So all these three entry points collide at this hellhole, which is the Las Juntas intersection, where major construction is going on with an overpass and whatnot to at least alleviate some of the traffic. Now, what does this have to do with the new Amado Nervo Bridge? Well, a lot and a little, depending on how you look at it. You see, in other parts, there is already a road connecting most of the way from Bahía de Banderas into town. This is where the university is. But all we're missing is a handy little bridge at that point. And that is where the Amado Nervo Bridge, formerly called Federacion Bridge, is going to be constructed. So, what will happen when this happens is that some of the incoming traffic will be able to come this way, then head south into Vallarta, and bypass Medina Asensio altogether by heading down this handy dandy road down here. And this is why this is an important deal, even if you don't live in that general part of town. Hopefully, by the time all of this is finished, traffic will decrease and we will be happier. And that's my little explainer. Thank you very much. And now we continue with this one. Viarta Mayor Luis Munguía has announced that the process to establish a mechanism for collecting the voluntary tax from foreigners visiting the city by air or sea continues. This is, of course, despite the fact that yesterday we learned that the National Human Rights Commission filed a dispute with Mexico's Supreme Court of Justice regarding this charge, which the organization notes not only violates the right to legal certainty, but also contravenes the principles of legality, proportionality, and equity in contribution. Now, Mayor Munguía has said that he respects the controversy and the municipality will be receptive to the ruling of the nation's highest court. However, the process to establish the collection mechanism continues. And I say, tómala. Last but not least on this first block, President Claudia Sheinbaum met with steel and aluminum business leaders to assess the impact of the 50% tariff increase on steel and aluminum imposed by the United States. On social media, Sheinbaum said that Minister of Finance and Public Credit Edgar Amador, as well as Minister of Economy Marcelo Ebrard, were present at this meeting. Now, President Sheinbaum described the tariff increase as unfair, unsustainable, and without legal basis, and that protective measures would be launched next week if an agreement with the United States is not reached. These measures, she affirmed, are not revengeful. She said that her responsibility is to protect our jobs here in Mexico. And this is what we have for news for the first batch. Let's take a quick look at what's going on out there in the weatherland. Hello, snarky weather. What? Happy you didn't get a Switch 2 day. I don't know what a Switch 2 day is. I think there's a Nintendo game called Switch 2, but I don't know what that is about. What I can tell you is that humidity is at 67%. Our temperature is at 30 degrees Celsius, and our forecast for today indicates that we're going to have partly cloudy skies during the morning with thunderstorms during the afternoon, a chance of rain of 14%, a high temperature of 32, and a low temperature of 26. Then tomorrow, boom, 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 boom. Mostly clear skies in the morning with rain in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 43%, make it so, a high of 31 and a low of 26. And then on Saturday, we can expect overcast skies in the morning with rain in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 62%, a high of 32, and a low of 26. So let's see what we got. Has Logan appeared? Are you here, Logan? Where is he? He hasn't appeared. Fine. I know he's bringing a special treat to musical appreciation this afternoon. Let me continue with what I have found that might be of interest for you today. I found this interesting article, this very interesting read in Mexico News Daily, featuring 6 facts about Mexico that upend the stereotypes. One of those facts I actually didn't know. For all your concerns about safety that get constantly raised in social media, did you know that Mexico only has 2 gun stores in the entire country? only two places to buy guns in Mexico. So, where are the guns coming from? You take a guess on that one. Now, I also want to tell you that sometimes I get asked, so why do you feature some businesses? Why do you feature others? Well, why do you not feature other businesses at Coffee and Headlines? Well, it's very simple. And as a reminder, I'm going to let you know there are, community partners that I'm always happy to talk about because you are helping support what we bring to the table. And then there are those businesses whose owners simply think of us from time to time. And it's nice to be thought about, I mean, every now and then it's good to think about a friend and not only think about a friend, but also act on it. And this happened to me 2 days ago when Jules Villafana from Vagabundas sent me this cute little image from Facebook, I believe, and it's an image of a fish bowl full of crocheted fishies and critters and whatnot. And she said, I want one of these, which I thought was really funny. Of course, she knows that I crochet. And I asked her, so what's new in your world? How are you guys dealing with the summer? And she quickly let me know that Bagabundas has a brand new beverage menu, a happy hour menu, which has all kinds of specials and goodies and treats that you can enjoy. And I also found a link on Facebook with their new summer hours in case you want to enjoy this amazing restaurant that combines Mexican food and Asian food in under a single roof, and they do so beautifully. So, bottom line, as far as who we talk about here at Coffee and Headlines and who we don't talk about, well, we certainly talk about you because you engage with us on a regular basis. We talk about anyone who takes the time to say hello from time to time, and it is a pleasure that some businesses in town are a part of our community. I also want to let you know that yesterday I was at the Joint Boutique Theater where I had the opportunity to interview a gentleman by the name of Bob Barsanti. Isn't that a great name? Bob Barsanti. Bob is one of the two new directors that have joined forces with our dear friend Sandy McDonald of Teatro Sin Borders, and Bob will be directing the first of two productions scheduled for this upcoming season. It is called Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike. It is a comedy, and they are holding auditions later on this month. If you want to apply, I will share the link on their Facebook page where you can find all the information that you need. And of course, I will be sharing the wonderful interview that we put together for you in the coming days. And what else do we have? Oh, this has nothing to do with anything, but I saw it this morning. This may mean something to you. It was 27 years ago today, on June 5th of 1998, that the Truman Show hit movie theaters, captivating audiences with its prescient exploration of reality, surveillance, and the human spirit. Now, I don't know if you've seen this film. It is an amazing film. I totally recommend it. And it holds a special place in my heart because it features music composed by the amazing American composer and pianist Philip Glass, who was actually featured in the film. Glass is widely regarded as one of the most influential composers of the late 20th century. And a favorite moment of the film for me is when he makes a cameo appearance during the scene when Truman is sleeping. Yes, that is the wonderful Philip Glass playing his own music in the film. And this makes me think, are we ready for a Philip Glass music appreciation presentation? Just write the word glass if you would be interested to know more about this amazing composer. And speaking of presentations, today is the day where we tackle Sing the Story, how Rodgers and Hammerstein reinvented the musical. It is at 5 o'clock at the Joint Boutique Hotel. It's going to be fun. If you like these musicals like Oklahoma and South Pacific and The Sound of Music, we're going to review and reconnect with them to find out why they are so important. Logan is celebrating his birthday with us. He's bringing cupcakes, so it should be a lot of fun. And of course, I also want to remind you that our dear friend and community partner Stan Wagner does neurofeedback sessions on Thursdays at the Joint Boutique Hotel. I have benefited tremendously from neurofeedback sessions with Stan. It helps me sleep better, and it helps me temper my mood, and it helps me with my memory. So if you want to learn more about neurofeedback, you can check out Stan's website. He's always mentioned at the beginning of our broadcast, and his website is always featured in our show notes as a community partner for Coffee and Headlines. Last but not least, before we dive into your comments, I want to remind you that our weekly survey is also featured every day in our show notes. So if you want to just answer this week's survey, all you have to do is check out the link in the show notes. And I am ready for comments. Oh my God, here's Logan. Logan Muffin, happy birthday. I whipped out the recorder just for you. Yeah. 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 Happy birthday, Muffin. I hope you have a good one. And now, let's see what you bring to the table. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Good morning from Susan, all the way in Golden, BC. It is a pleasure to read you, Susan. It is a pleasure to read all of you. Kathy, our favorite cat lady, is up in Nanaimo, BC. You can all have tea together if you want. Let's see. Sherry, what on earth are you doing in Florida? And how did you even get in? I mean, seriously, that is a crazy state. Let's see. Oh, and speak of the devil. Hello, Stan. Yes, it's great to have access to spaces with AC. I found it difficult to leave the hotel yesterday after my interviews. Your graphics for the highway presentation are awesome. Well, you know, sometimes some of these improvements, infrastructure improvements, they seem so distant. So I figured I would try to create a little bit more of a connection so that we can appreciate how these things will impact our lives, even here in the center of the city and definitely in the south of the city as well. Let's see, what else do we have? Betsy says, see you at Music Appreciation tonight. How fun. I love it. I love it. Oh my. That is funny. I'm here. AirPods in and hands full at Mercado Emiliano Zapata handling my melons. Well, you know, you do you, Logan, and I'll see you this afternoon. I love it. Oh, Mark, thank you so much for your support. My Coffee and Headlines subscriptions renewed automatically yesterday. Love it when I don't have to do anything. Well, I love it when I have to do something to keep you connected. So thank you, my friend, for your support. Thank you all for supporting Coffee and Headlines and keeping everything that we're doing happening. Oh, the intellectuals appear. One glass. Two glass. Two is enough for me. I'll put together a Philip Glass presentation just because we can. Peggy says hello. You know, Peggy, your ears must have buzzed yesterday because I was sitting with my dear friends Nina Goodhope and Cassandra Shaw, and we were talking about all the wonderful work that you are doing with the International Friendship Club. And I was telling them how grateful I am to have developed a closer connection with you and some members of your team during the past few months. Everybody take some time to learn about all the wonderful activities that are available for us to enjoy through the different programs available at the International Friendship Club. There you go. Oh, there's another glass. Linda says, glass and good morning. Well, I love that. I like music that is minimalist, like the music from Philip Glass. So that should be uh, a wonderful thing. Logan says, yes, the Truman Show released on my 18th birthday. I remember seeing it in the theater that day and being extremely moved. I believe Philip Glass also did the soundtrack to The Hours. Yes, he did. And the music from Philip Glass for The Hours is just absolutely wonderful. Peggy says, would it be appropriate to ask if anyone can recommend a qualified and experienced marketing person to lead a visioning and rebranding for the International Friendship Club? Of course it is appropriate, Peggy. It is a pleasure to disseminate this kind of information. I know that our friends from Rico Indian are also looking for staff, so we're going to be mentioning that tomorrow. So if anybody knows anybody that can help, Peggy and the board of directors at the International Friendship Club steer their direction for the next coming years, please get in touch with the IFC directly. Chris asks, how many years have you been playing the recorder? I started playing the recorder when I was in my early teens. It was required in Mexican school, and I play it every now and then. And somehow lately, I've been whipping it out more frequently. I was telling some friends that I have the piano and I play it from time to time, but I have this rekindled desire to create music again. So, we do what we can. We sing a little, we play the piano a little, we record a little, and we create music on the iPad, which is a lot of fun. Ultimately, we try to keep ourselves busy and inspired. And before we part, I want to, if I may, just share a couple of thoughts about living in Puerto Vallarta full time. This is with all due respect for those of you that come and go. Some of you come and go for weekends, some of you come and go for extended periods, but many of us are here and never leave, and we like it. We've learned to cope with the changes of weather. We've learned to cope with the changes of pace. We've learned to cope with openings and closings. It becomes challenging to go around town and seeing so many businesses open with very few people. So we, as English-speaking locals and full-time residents of Puerto Vallarta, appreciate the opportunity to connect with each other with creative, artistic, cultural, and brain stimulating opportunities that we can find during the summer months. No, we don't go to sleep. No, the plants don't stop growing and we don't stop feeling hungry. We are always here. And while I appreciate how some businesses have very marked ups and downs during the winter and spring months and the summer and fall months, I'm grateful to be here year round, and I salute those of you that are here year round, and I invite you to connect here through Coffee and Headlines, where we year round look for ways to connect with one another. That's what we bring to the table. Thank you so much for supporting our program. Thank you so much for supporting these projects. Thank you so much for spreading the word. And hopefully I'll see some of you this afternoon at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work for some Rogers and Hammerstein. The hills are alive, and it's very frightening. If not, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Ciao.